Hi, it's Michelle, and I'm here from the Diet Myth. I'm here to talk to you about strategy and a very simple strategy that seems really obvious that I notice with myself, but also with my clients that I'm going to share with you, and then talk a little bit more about how you can incorporate it and that you can't take it for granted. So, the strategy is to not keep the foods that sabotage you in your house. Okay, so you might be listening to this thinking, of course, yes, duh, like that's so obvious. Why is she telling me this? But as oftentimes as certain things we know are so simple, there seems to be a disconnect on why we don't always follow them. So, for example, drinking water. We all know that water is very good for us. But oftentimes I'll ask clients, how much water have you had today? And they'll say, oh, I got maybe a glass, maybe two glasses. And so yet they know, and you might know that water is good for you. You still have to make an effort or switch your kind of behavior around doing things that are often good for you. So kind of think of this strategy as one of those. And I say secret because I mean it in a way of like you have to look at it in a different way than just not keeping the food in the house. So, for example, I have a client, and she is a very busy professional. So she has long working days. She leaves the house at 7 and tries to get home, by 6 to get dinner on the table. And she fundamentally knows the right things to eat. And unfortunately, one of the foods that she seems to go to very often is pasta. It's quick, it's easy, her family loves it. And so what we've discovered is that she's eating a lot of pasta. And so it doesn't seem like a food that would be, like junk food, but for her, she's having too much of it, and it's because it's in the house and it's easy. So I suggested, what about taking the pasta? Don't buy the pasta, don't have it in the house anymore. And just try it for a week. Like, it doesn't have to be a permanent thing. Let's just try it for a week and see if it forces you to think of some alternatives for what you can make for dinner. And then, of course, I worked with her and gave her some recipes and some also other easy, quick tips on how to have things prepared that you can just kind of put together, assemble for dinner, and just said, let's try it for a week, and next time we meet, let's see what happens. And so she did exceptionally well. And what she found was not only did she feel like she could absolutely make things that were quick and easy and actually healthier for her, that she physically felt better by taking the pasta out, and that she also psychologically felt better because she wasn't saying or repeating that story to herself, oh, I shouldn't be eating the pasta, I shouldn't be eating the pasta, I know better than this, I shouldn't be eating the pasta. So it was affecting her on a lot of different levels. And then my own personal story with this is that I love sweets, and I do indulge in them. No means do I think that complete restriction is a way to live. And some of one of my favorite treats is like a gluten-free chocolate chip cookie. I like the Lucy's brand, to be very specific. I like to have them with my tea sometimes. But with the cookies, what I found personally is that if I kept them in the house, and at the end of the day, after I've worked and I've been pulled in a lot of different directions, and I've had fed my family and got my kids to bed, or anything that has basically made me tired and drained by the end of the day, after dinner, when I want something sweet, those cookies are there. I'm going to go to the cookies. And I'm not talking about eating the whole box, even if it's 1 or 2 or 3. It's still choosing the cookies over something else that is better for me. So once I don't keep the cookies in the house. It doesn't mean I don't buy them. It's that they're not a staple in the house. Then I'll go to the orange, and I'll go to the blueberries, or I'll go to the frozen raspberries, which are one of my absolute favorite kind of sweet treats because it takes a while to eat and they're yummy. The texture's good. And so it was really taking that simple strategy about keeping things out of the house to kind of the next level. Because when you're talking about weight loss and you're wanting to maintain your healthy weight loss, it incorporates new behaviors. And sometimes those behaviors have to be in place for a while for it to become a habit. And that is exactly where I think people kind of fail with keeping the food out of the house. You've got to make it a habit. So that's just my short little tip for today. Thank you so much for listening. This is all incorporated in the Diet Myth program. There's a link down below, and if you'd like more information, please visit us there. And thanks. I look forward to your feedback.